right, traders, this is going to be one of the most insane trading weeks of 2022. The volatility is going to be high. The call to put ratio is insane. Everybody's buying puts. Within this video, I'm going to be breaking down to you step by step how I'm planning to trade the best setups at the best prices heading into this week. I'm going to be breaking down my top 3 option plays. In terms of the market, I want you to take a look at the yearly chart on SPY. Each one of these candlesticks represents 1 year's worth of price action. The next yearly candle is going to be opening up on January 2nd of 2023. That's going to be another insane trading opportunity. But just take a look at this, man. You have this massive red bar on this yearly candle. And as you can see, this is make it or break it. The high of this yearly candle in 2020 is at $378. The low of this one in 2021 is at $364.82. We are nearly at 52-week lows. And as you can see, this is make or break. We're talking big downside potential or nice micro short-term potential, right? Within this video, I'm going to show you the key make it or break it levels to be trading out on the SPY this week. I'm going to show you how you can trade this both ways. Let's get straight into it. So in terms of the SPY, let's go over the key levels. Will, what is the best level possible to play put options? So in terms of put options, right, we've been selling off like crazy. Obviously, for the micro, we are oversold. We're due for a spike, but the market is just so overall bearish. But if you are not shorting at good levels, you can get squeezed very, very badly. For example, if you were to be shorting when I was buying calls at 3 p.m., you could have got caught up in a very, very bad squeeze from $363 all the way to $368 in less than 1 hour, right? So to prevent that, because that can occur at any time, you need to be aware of the timeframes that can occur, especially during power hour if the SPY is oversold at 3 p.m. And you also need to be focusing on shorting at resistance levels when previous support reacts as a resistance level, right? So what would those levels be? What would be the best resistance levels to be focusing on? Because as a short seller, as someone who loves buying puts, I focus on resistance rather than key breakdowns, because if you focus on key breakdowns, you're going to be fighting a support level. You're going to be fighting a bounce. The return isn't going to be as good. There's big upside potential ahead potentially, and it's just not worth the risk to reward, and it's very stressful doing that. So I prefer to be selling high, to be shorting high. So this is going to be the best level. Looking at the 30-minute chart, there's going to be 2 overall levels. As you can see in terms of the SPY, looking at this 30-minute chart, your previous support was right around here at 368. You had a lot of support at 367.50 to 368. It cracked. It had a massive sell-off all the way down to 363 overall, and then it pumped back up. As you can see, the SPY closed at 367.95, which was right towards this previous support level. As of now, it is dropping, meaning previous support is reacting as a resistance, which confirms the trend is still bearish. For the trend to overall reverse, you would have to see SPY really start to bottom out at 366, which it's trying to do right now, and it would have to break above 368 for the bulls to take control. So my 2 key levels are going to be the previous closing price. 367.95 is make it or break it. I want you to think of that as a previous support level. Now, if the SPY starts to bottom at 366, it is going to try to pump and break above that. But if it goes green and then back to red on the day and forms resistance and forms lower highs, then you could play puts at 368. If it goes green and it's staying green, it's forming support, it's breaking out, then it's going to start to rocket. And then, what would be the next best level possible to buy the put options? If it went green and stayed green and turned the previous closing price into support and stayed and flipped micro bullish, right? What would be the best price possible to play the put options? Right here at this gap. There's going to be, this is the higher gap at $374.24, right? So that's what I want you to be aware of. That is the best level possible. I'm going to set my price alert. You can set it with me on your charts using Thinkorswim, so we are prepared to trade the best setups at the best prices. And again, just to bring awareness in terms of what is happening right now, looking at the SPY here during extended hours trading session with you, this is what is happening. SPY ripped back, it bottomed towards the 52-week lows. It ripped back up to the previous support right here, which was towards 368. It had a micro drop, but it's attempting to bottom at this 366. So if it continues to hold that, we're going to see a retest of 367.95. That is make it or break it. If the SPY goes green and it stays green, it's forming support, it's breaking out, it is going to rocket and start to fill the gap at 374 for a micro flip to bullish. Now, if you see the SPY go green to red and then back under 367.95, the closing price of Friday, then you're going to want to play puts, and we're not risking a lot, right? So I want you to understand, previous closing price is a one-sided trend reversal, trend directional move, right? So we don't risk a lot. That's the best price we get in that. If we're wrong, we get stopped out, and you can always flip sides if it retraces back to the previous closing price to get the best entry, and you could switch sides and flip the trend if you like, right? So it's a key make it or break it level with big upside potential or big downside potential, and that's what I'm paying attention to. And like I said, if it reacts to support, if it's reacting bullish, then I will wait for 374.22. If it goes green to red and I bought the puts and then it doesn't work out, I get stopped out, then I will wait for 374.22. Those are my two key make it or break it levels, 367.95 and 374.22. No matter what happens, the best price possible for puts is 374.22 for the gap close reversal. In terms of the micro chart, looking at the SPY, it had a very nice close, pumping nearly 5 points within 1 hour, right? Looking at the daily chart, based off of the candlestick, does this look bullish or bearish for the micro? I would say it looks bullish. In terms of the micro and overall point of view, it does look bullish. We had a gap to fill right here. The 52-week lows are at 362. It bottomed slightly above the 52-week lows. It filled the gap at 366. There was a gap to fill at 365.86. What I've noticed in terms of extended hours trading session and on Friday, even in futures hours, it's happening right now, I've noticed the SPY has been glued to that 366 gap. When it cracks it, it's been retracing back to it. When it breaks above, it's been retracing back to it, but it's been glued to that level. So that is another key level that I will be focusing on. 366 is make it or break it. If it holds, the SPY is going to rock it. It's going to try to flip green. If it flips and stays green, it goes super bullish to fill the gap. If it cracks 366, then it just really tries to crack the 52-week lows. Based off of the daily chart and the looks of the micro daily chart, overall, and again, this is just what the candlestick looks like. We have to see how this reacts heading into the pre-market and market open. Overall, it looks micro bullish based off of what I'm seeing. It filled the gap. It's been glued to the gap. Even when it cracks, it's been retracing back to it. It's been holding. It's trying to turn previous resistance 366 right now, even into support, right? It's been trying to flip bullish and stay bullish at that 366 gap, which is that make it or break it level. And keep in mind, that is a support level. So in terms of puts, like I said, we really want to focus on 367.95, see how it reacts. If it flips green to red, forms lower highs, goes bearish, we could scalp some puts. And also the best level, 374.22, right? So it's just a situation. If it didn't work out, again, we get in at the best level at a higher price, make all the money back and more, and the return is going to be a lot bigger. And the best trade possible will be the puts at 374.22, right? So that's my analysis in terms of bullish and bearish thesis. Like I said, if 366 holds, it's going to try super hard to flip bullish. If it breaks above 368, stays green, holds form support, then it's going to really try to fill the gap. And the gap fill at 374.22 is the best price. 367.95 is make it or break it. 366 is your support. I'm not that interested in buying puts if it goes below 366. I'm interested in 367.95 and 374.22, right? And I explained to you how it can flip bullish and the reactions to look for, right? It's all within the candlesticks and the price action that I'm using, the price action that I'm using within the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the 30-minute chart and the pattern recognition, right? I can only give and explain so much a day beforehand with this. That's why within Trader Society, I give all the updates in real time. Now, let's go over the stocks. So in terms of Roblox, how does Roblox look? It looks pretty bullish, man. Roblox looks very, very bullish, and there is a gap to fill above at 43.32. And I want to bring some awareness to Roblox. It's a very nice momentum stock to be trading. The volume is starting to pick up. If we can start to see the volume break above this 17 million, it's going to start to rocket, right? And this is what I like about the pattern in terms of Roblox. Roblox had a gap to fill, similar to SPY, it had a gap to fill. It bottomed, it did go lower, but it bottomed out towards the gap fill level. Overall, within time, it pumped back up and it started to fill the gap. There was a gap to fill right here, it almost filled it, and then there was a gap to fill right here and it filled it, right? We have this new gap that's waiting to fill above. We have a bullish candlestick right here. So overall, it's beginning to look bullish, but it could be something like this where it drops a little bit more, then it flips bullish. But based off the daily chart overall, it's going to be bullish. I'm keeping an eye on this. You could see it had a nice little move up during extended hours as well. So what is it that I'm going to be looking at? I'm going to be looking at the volume, and this would be a situation where we have to see if it stays above this level right here. If you see $35 in terms of buying support, I don't like buying breakouts. If you were to buy support, previous resistance reacts to support. If you see it bounce off of 35, that's bullish and it's going to run. If it holds above 35, if it cracks 35, then it goes bearish. 35 is your key, make it or break it. See, look, I want to show you what it is that I'm seeing right here. This 35 right here, this is your key support. It bottoms, it spikes back up. Then it cracks, it gets crushed, it cracks, then it gets crushed. What is it doing right now? It's breaking above, trying to form higher support. In terms of breakouts and resistance, if it pushes above 36, it's going to fly. You're going to see it fly. If it pushes above 36, a blow-off move to 37.6 pretty quickly. Keep an eye on that. My next play is going to be Sava. In terms of how Sava is looking, I would say overall, right? In terms of overall, the chart is a little misleading. It's a little misleading in terms of where it's heading for the micro. So I'm just going to be very blunt about this. I have 2 levels and that's it. There is another level with another strategy, but I'm not even going to mention that one because it's not the best possible price to be trading this at. So I'm going to give you 2 price levels, and these are the best prices possible to be buying in buying calls and puts. So in terms of calls, $20.24. That's where I'm interested in buying call options with a bullish confirmation, right? All these alerts are going to compound and trigger over time, as my account will. So I'm preparing myself to trade the best setups at the best prices, setting these alerts. When the stock is trading at this price, very little people are going to be watching it. And I'll be able to get in before everybody else at the best price possible because I prepared myself before everybody else instead of waiting for a scanner to show me this when it's already ripping off the key level, when you're chasing. So that's my level for calls. Now, in terms of puts, my level for puts is right here, $51.06. That is the best price possible to buy puts. Again, some of these price alerts are going to be unrealistic to trigger for the short term. But the point being is, one of those alerts will trigger within time. And when it triggers, we will receive alert that nobody else is receiving, right? Because they're not like us. They're not planning ahead and trading the best price at the best setups possible. And we will be in a situation that nobody else is in. So keep on sending these alerts at these key gap fill levels, right? So puts there and then calls at the bottom towards the $20. Now, our last one is going to be Rum. So this is Rumble, right? So in terms of Rumble, I love what they're doing. I could see this being a big player in social media in the long term. So the key word is in the long term. Now, here's what I like about this from a technical view right now. So in terms of like the stock investment, stuff like that, basically the big thing about them is they have no censorship. So you can go on the social media platform and you can say what it is that whatever you want without getting banned, right? You see when a lot of people start to rise up and they talk a certain way, or if a lot of people hate them and report them, they get banned off of social media. They just don't care, right? You see it happen all the time on YouTube, on Twitter, right? Depending on the content that you make. Well, this is a social media platform that allows you to say whatever it is that you want to say, no matter how big you're going to get, no matter what you're really posting. They let you be you, and I respect that, and that's where the future is heading in terms of freedom, right? So they're going to be the number one player in that space, and that's going to be huge over the next 10 years because that's what people are looking for, and that's what the world's heading towards. So I really like it from a long-term perspective. Now, what do I think about the chart on this particular stock? So in terms of the chart, I'm keeping an eye on some key levels. So in terms of some key levels and some things that I'm, studying within the chart here, I'm going to be, I want you to understand that there's a gap to fill. There is a gap to fill at 1681. In the long run, we should fill the gap. And I like the stock in the long run. So this is obviously in my interest, right? Because there's a gap to fill. It should fill the gap in the long run. So from here, it's just waiting for bullish confirmations and waiting for an ideal entry. Based off how the chart looks now, it's forming lower highs, which looks bearish. This isn't a bullish candlestick, right? The volume's fading a little bit, so it's not looking the best right now, but that could change at any moment. So this is just something I'm keeping on the back burner. We have some support at 1150. That's make it or break it. If that cracks and reacts as a resistance, then we will see a hard sell off to $10. $10 is a key make it or break it level where I'd be interested in potentially buying the dip. I want to see how it reacts at 1150. Like I said, big upside potential or big downside potential. That is going to be the key make it or break it level. If it bottoms, it's going to start to rocket back to 12 to 13. If it cracks and reacts as a resistance, then it drops to $10. And if it did that, then $10 would be my level of interest for buying. That's on my radar. In terms of best level for puts, best level puts will be at 1681 to short, right? So those are my top option plays. That's how I'm planning to trade them personally. And then in terms of the confirmations that I'm using personally, it's mainly within the candlesticks. So at these key levels, I'm basically looking to identify in terms of puts, is it reacting as a resistance? Is it forming lower highs? Is it starting to downtrend? Is it forming the bearish trend reversal candlesticks that I show you and talk about all the time? And then in terms of calls, is it forming a floor, right? So for puts, is it forming a roof? Is it forming lower highs? Is it starting to show the backside and move? For calls, is it forming a floor? Is it starting to uptrend? Is it starting to form bullish candlesticks, right? So once I see those confirmations towards those key levels, I then look to execute my price at the best level possible. And in terms of when I see the confirmation, I buy the calls on the red candles after confirmation, and then I buy the puts on the green candles after confirmations. So I get the best entries possible. There's little tweaks you can do with your options to ensure you that you will get the biggest percentage return and be ahead of everybody else. And that's what it is that I'm focused on, right? So that's my overall point of view and perspective. In terms of the SPY, if this were to crack 363, I mean, what would be the next support level if that were to somehow happen? 362.37 is the 52-week lows. If that cracks, what would be the next support level? Let's take a look at the chart right here. So if 362 cracks, your next support level would be, let's see, we actually have a gap to fill. This is getting interesting. We have a gap to fill at $362. So pay attention to these levels as well. Gap to fill at 362, make or break. Gap to fill at 357.60, make or break, right? So that's just all in case it cracks. That's my thoughts. That's my analysis. Those are the best setups to be trading at the best price. Take a look. This is another reason why I'm bullish for the micro in a sense. And again, it doesn't matter if I'm bullish or bearish. It matters how it reacts at the prices that I'm interested in trading at. It doesn't matter if I'm bullish here, bearish here. I'm not in a position right now. This is just how things are looking to me right now. But what matters is when it hits my key level and reacts the way I want it to, then as a trader, I know how to adapt and make the decision, whether it's actually bullish or bearish, right? So be present, be in the moment. Don't have one thesis and stick to that. See what the chart is telling you. See what the patterns are telling you. See what the price action is telling you, right? It's all within the price action. So Coles, this looks, was it Coles? I believe it was Coles. Let me double check this here real quick. Yeah, I mean, Coles in a sense was looking sort of micro bullish as well, and it's towards key support, but I'm not really interested in that one. But those are the best setups at the best prices, guys. So that's going to be today's videos, and those are the key levels. So if you do want to be a part of Trader Society, where you get to trade live with me every single day, where you get access to the Discord server, where you get access to the networking opportunities within the Discord server, where you can send a direct message to not only me within the chat, but the members who are within the chat as well, who are very helpful and very useful as well. We can help assist you in the right direction. If you're looking to be self-sufficient, if you're looking to surround yourself with the right people, if you are looking to invest into yourself, this would be the greatest opportunity for you to do so. Trader Society is a one-time fee. It's lifetime access. All of the information is explained down in the first link below in the description. You can get started tonight. You can join. You get instant access, trade live with us every single day from now on, right? So you also get access to the video lesson library. Within the video lesson library, you will learn how to trade the best setups at the best prices, when to be buying calls, when to be buying puts, how to compound your account exponentially, using risk management and position sizing, a safe way to trade options conservatively with rapid growth in the long term. 1 year of consistency with options can change your life forever. And that's what it is that I want to help you achieve. So if you are looking to do that, this would be the best program for you possible. You also get access to in the video lesson library, where I show you risk management, position sizing, psychology, and mindset training. There is so much more to it. If you want to get involved and learn more about it, it is the first link down below in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm looking forward to crushing it with you this week. It's going to be a phenomenal week, man. I'm telling you, I'm very excited and I'm ready to crush it, and we're going to kill it tomorrow, and I will see you guys then.